Hi, welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little counterintuitive to what a lot of car guys like to do. We're going to go smaller. Let me turn the camera around here. And this is my extremely crusty 454 in my extremely crusty 70 Monte Carlo. And today, one of the things we're going to accomplish, hopefully, is a little better throttle response. You'll notice that this is definitely not a stock Holley carburetor. And what I've done is I've put in a aftermarket throttle body, and it's not Holley's, that essentially changed my 750 CFM 3310 list model to an 830 CFM. And I did it so many years ago, I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm sure it was to go faster. And I found as I get older, I like to be able to drive the car more. And one of the reasons that I'm going to be doing this is I'm tired of the 2-foot driving while it's warming up. If you guys are into it, that's fine. This swap is actually done fairly well. I think it did cost me some fuel mileage. Again, it was so many years ago, I don't remember. But today we're going to switch it back to the stock throttle body and follow along as we do that. Okay, got the carburetor removed and got the old one out. This is the 3310-11. Wow. In case anybody doesn't know, the -11 usually indicates that it's gone through many changes. I don't know what running changes have done, but I don't know what changes have been done to it since the first iteration in, I believe, the late 60s. Look it up. 3310's been around for a long time, and it's a very reliable carburetor. I've used it on anything from a 350 up to a 454, like it's going to go back on today. And what I'm taking off is Proform 67101C, as in cat. If it's something that you think I'm a total idiot for doing this and taking a piece of really cool equipment off, you can buy your own and make your own carburetor. But today we're going to go ahead and switch this out. I'm going to start by draining the fuel into a clean container, because I'm going to try to reuse it and prime the carburetor again. And wow, this thing is crusty. Anyway. Alright. Should be enough. I happen to have enough spare gaskets from my years of working on Holleys that I should be able to retrofit this without any problems. However, if I do end up having problems, I've got a complete rebuild kit that I can use if need be. Actually, I have two of them. How'd I end up with that? Must have ordered it after Ambien, back in my Ambien days. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going on this. And I thought I brought all the tools, but I didn't. So I need a razor blade, and I need a 5/8 wrench. Okay, after draining out the fuel, I'm going to go ahead and start by taking off the fuel line as soon as I get the correct wrench. So much for my... Okay, now I have the correct size wrench. For you at home, it's 11/16, so you can look for it ahead of time and not do like I did. And then I'm noticing, all right, okay. So glad I can edit this out. Well, thanks to the power of editing, you won't know that I had to go looking for a couple more wrenches. To do this job, you'll need an 11/16 and a 1-inch. You need the 1-inch to hold the fuel fitting that actually goes into the carburetor. Because if you try and, 9 times out of 10, if you try and undo the fitting without holding that in place, it unloosens too. So one tip is maybe do this on the engine, which I didn't, and give you a little more leverage. Okay, so I managed to get the fuel line off, and you will need an 11/16 wrench and a 1-inch wrench. You need to have the 1-inch wrench to hold the fuel fitting that goes into the carburetor itself, and then the 11/16 for the fuel line. But while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and change out the oh, okay. Change out the gasket. I might go ahead and install this since I've got everything all apart. This is a heat shield and fits underneath so that your fuel bowls don't get percolating fuel from the heat of the engine. I think I might install that. I had that on another car, and it worked really well. The modification you see here is for the vacuum secondaries. So if you put one of those on, be prepared to possibly do that for your vehicle. All right, here's what I need. Let's go ahead and do this one and this one. And these fit in between the fuel bowl and the fuel line fitting. So we'll go ahead and pre-install those with the make sure there's no real gunk or anything in there. One of the reasons I'm changing these, though, is I had a little bit of a fuel leak when I first started it after letting it sit all winter. And these these gaskets had crushed and lost their seal, so I had to really tighten them down to get them to seal. So now's a good time to replace them. Shouldn't have fuel come out because I ran it 4 hands. Yeah, a little bit. Not bad. All right. Since I'm thinking about it, double check the float level. You want it even for the initial at least, and then you can fine tune it once the engine's started and running. But and it looks like I forgot a screwdriver. Hi, I had to reposition because the camera overheated and shut off my camera / phone. And hopefully the shop dogs don't bump my camera stand since it's in a new place that they're not used to. Anyway, back to this. So, a little judicious prying. And everything looks okay. This is a good chance to do a visual inspection. And also, definitely, I don't know how this happened. Wow. These are the brown gaskets, which are the older style. I don't know how they got on there. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I tossed them all away. But what you want is the blue gasket. That's the newer style, the non-stick. And looks like I got lucky. Not a whole lot sticking on this. And we don't care about that anyway because we're swapping it out. So the other side here, inside here. Yeah, they're definitely sticking. Alright. And actually, I think what had happened was these were the gaskets that were supplied with the throttle, the new throttle body. And ooh, a little bit of crud in there. We'll flush that out. Thankfully, it didn't seem to get to the needle and seat. Okay, well, I'm glad I did that. Yeah, I seem to remember these were the gaskets that were with the throttle body. If you do one of these swaps, I recommend using the Holley stuff. Nothing against Proform. Anybody's going to try to do as cheap as possible when they're selling you something. And I think that's, I don't know if these gaskets came with the kit or not. I don't remember. It's been years. So anyway, don't quote me. But Anyway, don't do what I do, kids. Don't do what I did, kids. Use the Holley stuff. Use the good stuff. And I think we can just take it off. Yeah. All right. And of course that one's too big. Okay. Use the handy dandy drawer. These. Okay. Theoretically, I should just take this loose, but I'm going to try to do it all in one fell swoop. It'll probably bite me, but we'll give it a try. Okay, and there is the throttle body. You can see it's nice and contoured, better flow. One of the things I did like about it, if you need to change out the accelerator pump squirter, a lot easier to get to. Whereas this one is behind the choke, which I can show you later. Overall, not a bad piece. Just not what I needed at the time. I thought I did. Don't know if that'll go for sale or not. We'll figure it out. But right now, I need to do a couple things. I need to find a couple of gaskets. Let's match up first this one. That looks like the correct one. Yay. And it is. Okay. Triple checking to make sure this is the right one, and it goes on this way. Okay. Trash pile. Told you I've got a few of these. Been doing this for a while. Okay, off camera, I did a little cleaning. Basically got the big chunks out. Of course, you want the inside of your carburetor as clean as possible. But I think I got it good enough to be at least be serviceable. So we're going to go ahead and start reassembly. And we'll start that with the old, now new throttle body. And we want primary, this way. There we go. Let's start this one on the right track. fascinating stuff. I'm going to edit this out, so we're going to do it. It's a little frustrating. My wife's not lining up. Try the press side. I do. Okay. All right. We'll do the secondary side because I happen to have it already sitting right in front of me. And of course we'll match up the gaskets. I happen to have back here. I have some extras also. So we're going to go ahead and use these ones and the loose ones first. And that's why they're loose. They don't match up with anything that I have right there except for that one. Okay, we use that one. By the way, you can buy the gaskets separately. This one is Holley part number 8-2000. And it comes with all the gaskets you need for the bowls, metering block, and the screws that hold the bowls on. So if you want to stock your toolkit up with that, that's the one you need. Let's double check the fit. The same, except better than that. Again, double checking. Turn it upside down. You want the float to be approximately level, and that'll get you in the ballpark for when you start it. Okay, just a note, it's a little tight back here with this nipple, and maybe a better way to do it would have been to leave the base plate off to the last and put the fuel bowls on first, but I managed to sneak it past, so just something to note. And then it looks like we've got a gasket we need to replace. The old gasket might work, but since I've got it off, it's for the the vacuum secondary, the vacuum source for that. And should have some of them. There we go. It's just a tiny little cork thing, but very important if it goes bad. So that's why I'm taking the time to change it out now. If you don't, it could cause a problem with the vacuum secondaries not kicking in correctly. So we'll go ahead and Holly put some stickum on it to help it stay in place while you're jostling it around. So, and there's 3 screws holding that on. That's not the right place to put it. There we go. There's the spot. We don't need no stinking manual. All right. Do the same on the primary. Checking the power valve. Make sure there's no big chunks. Nothing blocked off. Okay. Get one of these. And one of these. Sure there's no big chunks in the fuel bowl. Usually the primary there isn't, because there's a lot more fuel running through there than there is in the secondaries. Tends to be self-cleaning. Do a final tighten. By the way, I don't know if that cork gasket that I replaced is available separately or not. just happen to have some left over from many rebuilds. I'm definitely not liking that. That one isn't tightening down. Neither is it backing out. Now it's tight. Interesting. That's not good. Looks like we have some thread. It seems to be going in. Houston, we could have a problem. Go ahead and stop the video here, and I think we're going to do another video with a Healy coil repair. It gave no sign of it before. The threads just happened to pull out. Well, that's what happens sometimes. We'll definitely continue to do a part 2. Thank you for watching so far. Hope you continue on. I will get it fixed, but I've got to do some research now and try to locate a Healy coil kit for that. Hopefully there's one available in town. If so, I will be doing either a continuation of this or do a part 2. I haven't decided yet. Okay, I said I signed off last time, but I was able to repair the threads with a thread repair kit, which I may or may not show. For various reasons. Anyway, let's go back to what we were doing. Got the thread repaired. I am not sure why that's stripped out. I always, if I can, put my carburetors together with 1/4 inch drive. Makes it a lot harder to get ham-handed. And don't know, it came out with half the threads when I checked to see why it was feeling so funny. But anyway, we're back to getting this back together. In case you're wondering, no, I don't live near an airport, but we are in the flight path. Okay, so snug those down. And we now have a complete carburetor again. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for real this time. We have a Holley with all of its Holley parts again, with the exception of the electric choke, which I'm going to install in a different video. Just as a teaser, I'm going to be using kit 45-223S as in Sam, and we'll show you how to install that and get the carburetor on the car and get it all running and adjusted. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. I know I'm feeling better about this. I've just get tired of the 2-foot driving, like I said. And anyway, if you could tell your friends, family, somebody you maybe just mildly dislike, I'd sure appreciate it. We really want to get this channel going, and if it does help you, please tell somebody. I figure we're here to help each other out, and this is one way of spreading information. I don't have all the answers. I've used YouTube a lot to save my butt, and I'm just hoping I can return the favor. Anyway, tell anyone you can, any way that you can. Drum, smoke signal, skywriting, telegraph. Thank you for watching. Bye now.